Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, and I want to post a follow-up review for the A7 III, and obviously that's the camera that I'm filming this video with. Expand this video's description and then click the link there and you can find where to order it online. Also the on-camera microphone that I'm using for this video, the tripod, and the zoom lens. But just wanted to post some follow-up opinions, and I still love this camera. The A7 III is still my favorite camera. And the reason that I love it is that it's not only awesome for video, like you see here, and this is with a zoom lens. So I mean, that's incredibly cool that I can get this quality with a zoom lens that's small and lightweight, that's attached to a small and lightweight mirrorless camera body. And on camera, or not on camera, is in the integrated microphone. The integrated microphone for the A7 III is not bad, but I do have an external microphone attached to the top of the A7 III for this audio. But it's just been a stellar camera. The battery life is exceptional. I've been hiking all day and filming videos and snapping photos all day. For the still photos, the A7 III is super solid. It doesn't have the resolution of the A7R III, but I don't miss it because I switched from an A7R II to the A7 III, and the assumption is that, oh man, that's a downgrade, you know, going to a base model camera from the ultra high resolution version of the camera. And that was it was actually not the case, because I'm getting a lot better battery life with the A7 III than I did with the A7R II, the previous generation. And I'm getting the autofocus is incredible. This video I'm filming in autofocus. With the A7R II, I would have had to have used manual focus to achieve these types of results. So it's super high end, even though they call it a base model camera. I don't have any regrets. The build quality is nice. I will say that it is easy, if one's not careful, to introduce dust into the camera when you're changing lenses. So what I've made a habit of is, whenever I'm out in the field, if I know I'm going to be in a dusty environment, I'll just strap on a high quality zoom lens, such as the one that I'm filming this video with, and that way I'm not having to change lenses in the field. But if I'm doing studio work, I'll pop on my prime lenses, my fixed focal length lenses, and get even better video quality. The video quality from this thing is outstanding. It's incredible that a camera at this price point can achieve such stellar 4K video results. And it makes me look forward to the upcoming A7S III, which will hopefully do 4K 60. And I have no problem with 4K 30. This is filmed in 4K 30. It's more than acceptable. And it's probably more than acceptable for most people's use cases. The still photos, by not having that greater 42 megapixel that you get with the A7R II, like I had previously, or the current model A7R III, takes less size. You know, especially if you use Lightroom for your to import your photos and edit your photos. I shoot everything in RAW. This camera does RAW, which is great. But having that extra file size, those extra megapixels, makes your cloud storage for your photos fill up more quickly. So this being 24 megapixel is an advantage. And you know, unless someone's doing a lot of I keep hearing something, I'm out in the wilderness. I hope it's not a bear. But unless someone's doing a lot of cropping within post, there's really no need for those extra megapixels. And this thing in video, again, the autofocus is outstanding. And at the time of filming this video, the firmware update's not out, but they're supposed to be releasing a new firmware update within the next few months that is even going to make the autofocus capabilities of this camera even more awesome. So I can't even imagine that in animal eye focus. I mean, they're taking it to the next level. Sony's really knocked it out of the park with this camera. I have zero regrets, and I have zero desire to want to go with anything else. But again, I am excited about the possibility of a camera that will do 4K 60, because I am primarily a video shooter. And that's the other thing that's so great about this. Whether it's video or stills, it does it all. I mean, it's just it's the best bang for the buck I've found with a camera. It's very easy to use. When you customize the menus, get them just like you want them, you probably wouldn't want to use anything else. I know if I'm doing video, I'll flip to video mode. I've got all my keys set to where I can change the aperture. And you know, if I need to take stills, I can flip it over to the stills mode. If I want to cheat, if I don't want to go full manual, I can go to aperture priority or shutter priority. It really dumbs it down for people that just want to get the really good outstanding professional quality images, but they don't necessarily want to go through all the workflow of, and professionals would probably laughing at me. They're like, man, manual mode is the only way to go. But with this, with aperture priority, if I want to get shallow depth of field, I go into aperture priority. If I'm shooting with an f1.8 lens, I change the aperture to f1.8 and let the camera do all the rest of the magic. And if I'm shooting a waterfall, I'll go into shutter priority. I'll change the shutter speed to, how I want the water to look. I'll let the camera do all the rest of the work. And in certain scenarios, if I don't want to use autofocus, although the autofocus is incredible, I've got a button. I've set a button on it to where I can toggle to manual focus for either stills or video. It makes it super convenient. You can nail the focus that you want and create or capture rather professional quality results. And to be able to get all of this at this price point is absolutely incredible. And the other good thing about it, since I got the a7 III, and I got the a7 III as soon as it came out, but the availability of third-party lenses, there's a ton. I shouldn't say a ton, but there's a growing quantity of third-party lenses available now. Actually, this lens, this zoom lens that I'm filming this with, is a third-party zoom lens, and I feel the quality is awesome. And keep in mind, this is a third-party zoom lens that's working with the Sony a7 III body, and it's producing these phenomenal results. So it's just a very versatile kit, very lightweight, and the battery life is phenomenal. And that was my biggest gripe with the previous generation A7R series, or A7R II, was that the battery life, the batteries were small and they were inexpensive, but I had to carry so many of those around, and I'd film a few videos or snap a bunch of photos and I'd swap the battery out. One battery in this, most of the time, is going to get me through the entire day. But I've got two batteries just to be, to be safe. So with two batteries, I feel confident I can get an entire day's worth of videos and or photos and not have to worry about it. And the batteries are small. This camera, the a7 III, also has dual SD card slots. And for a base model camera, that's an unexpectedly awesome feature. And I also like how it's got a USB-C port as well as a micro USB. And when I'm in the studio, I can use a little HDMI port on it and connect a field monitor. One of my gripes, and a minor gripe, is that this doesn't have a forward-facing LCD display on the back. But as you can see here, that's me on the video. So when I stood in front of the camera, since I don't have my film crew with me, I stood in front of the camera and I confirmed I was properly positioned within the frame, and I put the camera on autofocus so that I know that I'm confident in the ability of this a7 III to autofocus well. So in the past, I would have had to set my a7R II to manual, and then stepped over and used the viewfinder on it on my smartphone, confirm that I was optimally focused for the distance, and then start filming. With this, all I do is confirm I'm standing in the optimally in the camera's frame, and just let the camera's autofocus do its magic. So that's super cool. But I would love to see in a future version of this an LCD on the back, like the less expensive A6400 they just released. But by the way, the A6400 uses that horrible battery, that MPFW50, like the A7R II used. But if they can come out with a camera like this that uses this battery or better, that has a display in the back that you can see yourself face on video, they'll have the ultimate camera at that point. But again, it's not a problem for me, even being today filming without film crew, to be able to step into heard an animal. To be able to step into the camera's field of view and feel confident that autofocus is going to work exceptionally well. Have no regrets. I would buy this camera again in a heartbeat without hesitation. And be sure to subscribe to my channel and expand this video's description to find the a7 III, the lens I'm using, the mic I'm using, tripod, other lenses I use with it, and obviously a ton of videos that I've filmed already with the a7 III, and a ton more that I'll be filming soon. And be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. And post your comments below. I want to hear what you think. How is the quality? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it decent? Is there a camera you would recommend over this A7 III? Tell me what you think. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRick Sky here. Thanks again for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. If you're looking for iRick Sky's Adventure Channel merch, like this t-shirt and a lot of other cool stuff, expand this video's description. You can find it all there. Y'all have a good day.